Ni hao, which translated from Chinese means hello. You're watching the program Capital Ideas Life. I didn't just say hello to you in Chinese without good reason. Today, we will visit an unusual place that has recently appeared on the map of the Russian capital, the Chinese business center Huaming Park. This is not just a new platform for practical cooperation between Moscow and Beijing. Here, you can also get acquainted with the culture and traditions of this amazing country. So, let's get started. On today's program, the Park Huaming Chinese Business Center is a new venue in the capital designed for strengthening friendship and partner relationships between Moscow and Beijing. Impressive special effects and a fascinating story, the results of the Born to Fly movie premiere in Moscow. The Huaminiuan Landscape Park, the best spot in the city for exploring the culture, traditions and architecture of China. In spring 2023, under the auspices of the Annual Investment Forum in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, the delegation of the government of Moscow was handed an AIM Investments Award for the construction project of the Park Huaming Chinese Business Center. The award was accepted on behalf of the Russian capital by Sergei Chiromin, head of the Moscow delegation, minister of the government of Moscow, and head of the Moscow Department for External Economic and International Relations.
The Park Huaming Business Center is an amazing combination of both a splendid hotel and an excellent venue for hosting different types of business events, conferences, and international symposiums. I believe it's a good example of business cooperation between Chinese companies and their Russian partners. It's a permanent point of presence for Chinese companies.
The minister of the government of Moscow personally visited the multifunctional complex along with his Chinese colleagues and the heads of the Big Asia television channel. The delegation examined the sights of the park and discussed prospects for further business and humanitarian cooperation with its Asian partners.
We are convinced that the business center is very popular. It's already almost completely filled with companies interested in developing the Russian and Chinese partnership. I'm confident that Park Huaming will become a worthy investment in the development of both interstate relations and the development of our interregional relations. Moreover, the landscape Chinese park, which I'm certain Muscovites will like, blends in harmoniously here.
Today, China is one of Russia's key commercial and economic partners. Companies from China are actively participating in various investment projects, including projects in Moscow. The Park Huaming Chinese Business Center is one of the successful examples illustrating this cooperation.
For many years, Moscow has traditionally collaborated with various large Chinese megacities. First and foremost, these are Beijing, large cities such as Harbin, Chengdu, Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. And as soon as China reopened after the pandemic, the Moscow delegation was symbolically the first to visit Beijing on the 9th of February this year. We held talks with our partners on the continuation of external economic cooperation and new projects. We also discussed the possibility of holding a Days of Moscow in Beijing in 2023.
The idea of creating the Park Huaming Chinese Business Center was first voiced in September 2001. The Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, Zhu Rongji, suggested building a business center in the capital of Russia. The Huaming International Investment Corporation was specially created for bringing this project to fruition. Thus, with the support of the two countries' governments, a new point of attraction has appeared in Moscow, not only for business representatives in Russia and China, but also for ordinary citizens.
In Moscow today, we don't just have a center of crystallized ideas. We have a place of business communication, a place of Chinese hospitality. And that's because while we're located in Moscow, if we cross the threshold of this house, we find ourselves in Little China. Maybe not even China from an architectural standpoint. Despite everything being built correctly in the Chinese way, we find ourselves in a place where part of the soul of China exists.
The Park Huaming Chinese Business Center is located in the northeastern administrative region of Moscow in the Ostankino district. It's only 10 kilometers from the Kremlin. Its area totals 6.7 hectares. The multifunctional complex includes a 5-star hotel, a modern congress center, Class A office space, apartments, and a park. The Huaminiuan Landscape Park is located on the territory of the business center. It's made in the Chinese style. The entrance to the park is open to everyone. So let's go find out how everything works here. There's a very beautiful arch at the entrance to the park. It's called Zuyun. The Yui Bridge leads to it. It symbolizes the friendship between China and Russia. The park was created in the form of a Chinese village. According to the creators, it's one of the largest traditional Chinese parks in Europe. Park Huaminiuan may have opened recently, but Muscovites and guests of the capital have already fallen in love with it. People come here to take a break from the hustle and bustle of the city and enjoy a type of nature unusual to the Moscow region. The park is conventionally divided into two zones, a public zone with houses, gazebos and ponds, and a walking zone which is calmer with eco-paths and a large number of plants.
It's no coincidence we came here. We came here to gain strength and spiritual culture. Park Huaming isn't simply a business cluster. It's also a spiritual cluster. We are very close to the culture of China. It goes far back into the antiquity, and we are interested in it.
Tell me, do you have any specific ties with China?
I have a lot of friends in China. They are my business partners. We have a joint enterprise, a Russian and Chinese one, and they are very amazing people. I have to admit I'm learning a lot from them. I'm simply in awe of these fantastic trees. The environment, it's all superb. Basically, we're enjoying it. We're walking around. A wonderful park. Many thanks to everyone who built it here and gave us access, so we could get acquainted with the basics of Eastern philosophy. So we are able to achieve unity, so to speak, with nature and harmony. A very pleasant experience. I believe that the Chinese culture is in every detail. You feel like spending time here, and that's unusual for Moscow. For now, I don't think there are any other places like it. Firstly, they are our nearest neighbors at the current moment. Secondly, they are one of our political and geopolitical partners. And of course, it's nice they're supporting us in such a difficult time. They're coming here, developing, building, and so on. So, it's all nice to see for sure.
Tell me, what do you like in this park?
The atmosphere, it's peaceful. The feeling that you can be by yourself, despite there being other people around. It's very peaceful, very pleasant. You can take a walk, breathe in the air, enjoy the peace. I like the concept itself, that in fact, while not everyone has the opportunity to go to China, there's a small piece of China here in Moscow. That's also really great.
Chinese specialists worked on the creation of this park, Almost everything here, even the stones, were bought specially from China. When you walk in the park, be sure to pay attention to this sculpture. This is a monument to the famous philosopher and thinker Confucius. His teachings had a huge impact on the development of China, and for a long time was the official state ideology of the country. The five-star Solux Moscow Hotel, part of the architectural ensemble of the business center, is located at the entrance to the landscape park. One of the first and honored guests of this premium-class hotel was the President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, who stayed here during his visit to Moscow in the spring of 2023.
The whole philosophy of the hotel is built with the deepest respect for the Chinese philosophy of Feng Shui, of Confucianism. We even have Confucius standing in the park, which confirms this. There's a lot of decor elements, and everything that is in the hotel is filled with deep respect for the Chinese culture and Chinese philosophy. These are large screens that we have positioned behind the reception area. And this isn't just a drawing, it's a real place. This spot is a national nature reserve of China. It depicts the Lushan Mountains. It's not just a picture, but a truly real place that embodies China.
In the hotel, there are 340 rooms, and 39 of them are luxury category. And now we're going up to the 20th floor, to the presidential suite. This is one of the largest suites in Moscow. Its area is 373 square meters. We're now in the living room, one of the 7 rooms of this luxurious suite. In the presidential suite, there are 2 bedrooms. Really beautiful. It even has its own private study. The hotel will soon begin to provide its guests with a full range of business services and utilities. For example, it will be possible to order flight tickets, apply for a visa, use the services of a notary, and much more, all while remaining within the bounds of the business center.
Our hotel is one of the largest congress hotels in Moscow, and by extension, we have the largest ballroom of all Moscow hotels. It's almost 900 square meters, and that's now the largest capacity. Besides that, all the halls are united by spacious foyers, with only more than 1,000 square meters on the 3rd floor and about the same area on the 2nd floor. Big high ceilings, lots of light, lots of space. This is something we can boast about.
The Congress Center occupies 2 floors. There are 15 halls here, and every day various events take place. In the business center, it's not only possible to work effectively, you can also live comfortably. In this complex, there are over 100 apartments. So let's go and see what they look like. Apartments at the Park Huaming Chinese Business Center are provided as accommodation to government employees and guests who need to stay for a long time in Moscow during business trips. We're now located in a 1-room apartment, and as you can see, everything is arranged here conveniently for living. There is furniture and household appliances. And this is a 3-room apartment. The area is 86 square meters. there is a kitchen, living room, 2 bathrooms, wardrobes, and a beautiful view from the window. In the Chinese business center, Park Huaming, it's not only just possible to work effectively, but you can also spend time in healthy pursuits. To do this, a premium fitness club was opened for the residents and guests of the complex. So it was not by chance that I brought my sports clothes with me. We're off to a training session. The fitness center is available to all hotel guests and apartment residents 24 hours a day. They also have a special 20% discount on memberships and guest visits.
Everything here was made by the Chinese. We have wonderful hieroglyphs that symbolize a specific action, word or expression, and they often have the definition underneath. Also, everything here is in keeping with Feng Shui, both the business center itself and our club. To have favorable conditions for training and for work, of course. It was all made specifically for this.
The fitness club features a 25-meter swimming pool, halls for group and functional training sessions, a boxing ring, and of course, a spacious gym for training sessions with a personal trainer. I have a feeling I want to try it myself.
Of course, get changed and let's go train.
Yeah, okay, great, super.
Are you ready?
Ivan, I'm ready.
This is the most standard cross trainer, where we twist as if skiing, and it just warms us up. What for? To warm up the blood, to get the blood flow moving, improve metabolism, ligaments, tendons, to warm up. Warming up is a great feeling, and it also reduces the fatty layer, the fatty component.
Ah, wow. Thank you. That was a great workout, but not easy. What's next?
Take a seat. Now we reach for the handles, and the task is to pull in and pull out.
Like that?
Yes, well done. Now we unclench our palms so that it presses into the bones.
Like this?
Go on. Nice work. One. Go on. And the final time. Well done.
Super. Ah, great. Ah, wow. Thank you. Great training. I feel really invigorated. And I really like this splendid room.
Thank you, Mike. Amazing job. Visit us again.
The Park Huaming Chinese Business Center is not only a place where business relations between Moscow and Beijing are strengthening and developing. Now it's also one of the main points on the map for cultural life in the Russian capital. In the spring of 2023, the premiere of the Chinese film Born to Fly was held at the park's conference center. That evening, diplomats, politicians, and cultural figures from the two countries, as well as everyone who loves and appreciates Chinese cinema, gathered in the hall. The premiere of the film was attended by Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to the Russian Federation, Zhang Hanhui. While giving a speech to guests, he noted that China and Russia are traditionally one of the leaders in the field of cinematography. And it is thanks to films that viewers from all over the world can get to know the culture and national characteristics of the two countries more deeply.
You're alive in a great age. Many of the newest aircraft await your test pilots. Begin. It's not just planes that pass tests in extreme conditions, but pilots too. Test failed. You crashed, you failed. Can I go again? Get out. You're already dead.
The movie, Born to Fly, tells the story of young pilots who go through a rigorous selection process to become test pilots. Filmed by Chinese director Liu Shaoxi, it's a genuine drama-filled action movie. The picture was his debut feature-length work, but the director is no stranger to the topic of aviation. After graduating from the Beijing Film Academy, he collaborated with Chinese aircraft manufacturers, making commercial films and videos about aircraft and airliners.
I'm a big fan of aviation and airplanes. In fact, it's not just Chinese planes that I understand, but also American planes, French ones, and planes from other countries. I also have many friends and acquaintances who are pilots and test pilots. That's why I had the opportunity to observe how they live and how they work. I believe that this is one of the greatest professions. And those who have mastered it should have quite a lot of good qualities.
Despite the fact the movie about the conquerors of the sky was filmed in China, an international team worked on the picture. For example, the visual effects for Born to Fly were created by the British studio DNEG, who have collaborated with renowned directors such as Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, and George Miller. Not surprisingly, the Russian audience, as well as audiences around the world, rate the film very highly.
I really liked the number of special effects, how rich the picture was, the general setting, the drama. Everything was really great. To be honest, I'd never expected such an effect from a film in general. I mean, this is some new level of absolute perception. I'm very impressed. These are the films that inspire. This film schools you, it truly does. It teaches you to love the motherland, family, children, friends, to love everything in general. It's a present, it needs to be protected and nurtured, especially with the new generation. My impressions are off the scale. It was powerful. It pierces right through to your soul. It captures everything. I was completely, inside that film. It was as if it was happening. As if I was at the controls of the plane, along with those pilots. It's grand. I'm certain this film will be a huge, colossal success. From the first minute, the film simply immersed you in all its atmosphere. And from the first minute to the end, it didn't let you go. So that's 2 hours. I don't know how long the movie was. It just went by in a flash. I mean, the plane took off, the plane landed, the film was done. Wow, I really enjoyed it.
The world premiere of Born to Fly took place on the 28th of April 2023 in China. By July, the picture had already grossed over $500 million worldwide.
We're delighted that you enjoyed the movie as much as we did. And more than anyone, we are looking forward to the film being a box office success. Online platforms have already become interested in the film. I'm receiving offers. Generally, there are good television channels, terrestrial and satellite channels. So this is such a large business project for us. We are not stopping here. I was at a festival a month ago in Hong Kong, and we've already agreed on the purchase of new future projects this year.
The Park Huaming Chinese Business Center is not only a platform for the business and cultural life of the two countries in the capital of Russia, it's a genuine window of opportunity, allowing for the most efficient establishment of bilateral ties between Moscow and Beijing. A number of Chinese and Russian companies that are leading players in energy, finance, aviation, telecommunications, the automotive industry, and others will be based at the park, as well as representative offices of Chinese provinces and cities in Russia, and public organizations from the two countries who are engaged in promoting friendship between China and Russia. As a future prospect, the Park Huaming Chinese Business Center should become a key platform for political, commercial, economic, and cultural cooperation between China and Russia. And there is no doubt about the realization of these plans. If you want to get to know the traditions, philosophy and architecture of China better, be sure to come here to the Chinese Business Center, Huaming Park. This truly is a real window to China, and now today we are convinced of this. You've watched the program Capital Ideas Life. My name is Mike Gibson, and as they say in China, 再见. Goodbye.